Let's talk all about AI in business. It's hosted by Brent Muller. Welcome to the Future Proof Podcast.
Hi, and welcome to the latest episode of the Future Proofed Podcast, the podcast where we're decoding how founders, leaders, and execs are working smarter by using systems, AI, and automation. So if you're looking to future-proof your business, you're definitely in the right place. And if you're looking for a collaboration session, you want to understand how AI can fit into your business, there'll be links below the show notes to book a quick 30-minute calls with our team. But let's get to today's episode. And today we are joined by Rufei Qian from NihaoPay, CEO of NihaoPay. Rufei, thank you for joining us today.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, so great. So tell us, we're going to jump right in. So tell us all about your background and kind of leading up to becoming the CEO.
Okay. So hi everyone. I'm Rufei. I'm the CEO of NihaoPay, a fintech company that making cross-border payments easier, and especially between the US and Asia. It's what we are targeting to. So I was born in Shanghai and moved to the US for high school and college, and wrap up a double major in finance and economics in just 3 years. And somehow end up deep in the payment world. I'm always loved solving real world friction points, and the money movement across border is a huge one.
Absolutely. So tell me about a little bit more about NihaoPay and kind of your vision for it, right? You guys have been in the market for quite a while, but you really have a lot of growth opportunities coming up. And I think now that there's so much business between Asia and the US, I feel like that this is a very needed service.
Okay. So actually, NihaoPay started as a way to help US merchants accepting the Chinese mobile wallets like Alipay, WeChat Pay, and UnionPay. So over time, we realized we weren't just building a payment network, and we were building a financial infrastructure for global commerce. And so now we are not just helping with accepting payments, we also issuing cards, helping brands to build their own digital wallets, and offering something I call the wallet as a services to create a long-term customer retention for the merchants. And my vision, I would say in a long run, maybe in 10 years range, I won't say I will become the Stripe of the cross-border payments, because a lot of investors and people asking me like, oh, are you guys trying to do creating something similar as Stripe? But I will be saying I'm trying to creating some kind of a new Swift system, or maybe I will be the next age of the JP Morgan Chase. So with a special age in connecting the East and the Western world for the financial service. That's what I'm trying
fantastic. Yeah. And so talk to us about, do you see the demand? Because I would imagine the answer is yes, but do you see the demand for US and European businesses wanting to sell into the Asian markets?
A lot of brands trying to get into the Asian markets. As we can know, all those luxury brands, they are expanding in Asia, like China, Singapore, because all those wealthy people like to buying those luxury brands. And also some those like sporting related brands like Lululemon or all those brands. I think the Asian market is like a huge place for consumer shopping. Everyone's trying to get into. But also we're also noticed that a lot of those local brands from Asian world, they are trying also entering into the Western world, trying to
So it
sell
goes both ways, right?
yeah, both ways. And obviously, recently, everyone's like, I believe, putting some energy or eyes on the trade war between the US and
Yeah. And assuming that all settles down, right, which we expect it to, right?
yes.
Do you see both ways opening up in a big way?
I believe no matter how this war going to be, I believe the trade is always going to be there. Even, I mean, the travel taxes going up really high. I don't know if our president will be dropping down the rates, but I believe the market always going to be finding its own way to adjusting to actually fulfill everyone's needs. So, and also I see a lot of like opportunities for all the payment players in the space, no matter how this war is going to be go.
Yeah. So as NeoPay starts to take foothold there, do you see like the US players, like, do you see like Stripe as an integration partner, or do you see that as a competitor? Like, are they trying to do the same thing? Because I feel like you're trying to simplify a single problem. They try to solve problems across, a myriad of different things. But I feel like you have a niche there that kind of sets you apart.
Mhm. I won't say they're a competitor. They actually, I'm always saying they are one role model
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
in the team. Yeah, they're creating a lot of like fantastic products, like the Stripe Connect, providing those solutions for platform merchants. Stripe
Hmm.
Radar for helping to decrease down the fraud rates. Those are
Hmm.
all really, really good products. I will say we are more like a, maybe I see that in a collaboration way.
Hmm.
I think for the long run, we are going to a different direction.
Yeah.
The problem, the infrastructure, the fundamental, the foundation they are building is definitely necessary for the whole world commerce. But what we are more just focusing on more niche on, especially the cross border, especially focusing on between Eastern and Western worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I know, I totally get it. So I'm trying to think through like about like where you think the growth levers are, right? Is it just the luxury brands that want to enter into the Asian markets, or do you see basically all of e-commerce, um, right, from the niche players all the way up, also wanting to expand into Asia?
I think it's not just the luxury brands. So I can share some client story actually
Yeah,
with you.
please. That'd be great. We love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we work with a wide range of the merchants. One of the coolest partnership has been actually with Shopify merchants who want to tap into the Chinese market. We helping
Hmm.
them to go live with Alipay and WeChat Pay without needing touch any local bank infrastructure. It's been amazing seeing those small USD direct to consumer brands suddenly blow up in the China because they made it easy for Chinese consumer to pay. Another fun one, I will say, we work with the Booking Nets to power cross-border ticketing and also the merchandise sales for their
Hmm.
Chinese fan base. It's not just about the revenue; it's also about creating like a frictionless for experience across borders. Sports, cultural, commerce, all bleeding together through payments. Besides, I mean, on the consumer line, there are also, I believe there's opportunity on the logistic loan and also the insurance. Yeah, those are all the opportunities I think we are gonna be dig into later on.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And so, how do you see, we talked about emerging tech and how that is influencing every industry. How does AI and automation and data start to influence, your industry, and how do you see it changing the landscape?
So everyone's recently like talking about it. So for sure, like we starting using a lot of AI tools actually in the team. So we using AI to flag suspicious transaction patterns that our team would never catch manually. It's being
Hmm.
a game changer in fraud prevention. Also, we've started using AI to auto translate compliance and onboarding documents. That part saving a lot of times for our underwriting team. And later on, and we are definitely planning as we are actually processing more volume. We're exploring LLMs to streamline merchant onboarding for our issuing and also the wallet products.
Wow. Wow. And so as you start to think about, your product offerings, do you think that you're settled, or do you start to see new, because of these opportunities, do you start to see new products being able to add it to your wallet?
Yes, that definitely for sure. Actually, what we actually launching from last year, we started issuing a card, and the part of the card issuing system is actually we issuing some Asian card brand. So instead of helping those Asian brands they want to get out to selling in the US, and I believe I don't know if you're following on the TikTok like the
Mm.
trends. So a lot of like US Western consumers trying to buy in these like low cost products from the Asian world.
Right.
But the Visa Master is not accepting from all those Asian merchants. So the card what we are issuing is actually can helping the US merchants to purchase directly from those Asian brands aboard.
Yep.
So it's kind of still the same volume of the processing, but different way to processing it.
Got it. Okay. And so, where do you see things going from here? Like, if you look across the industry, right?
Mhm.
Again, you're seeing a lot of change, right? And again, assuming that we figure out the trade wars and the tariffs and all that, where do you think? Where do you like? As you look down the next 12 to 18 months, right? Where do you see things going?
12 to 18 months.
Yeah, I think it's hard to predict past that, right? It's really hard to see past that.
For sure, I believe since the beginning of this year, a lot of fintech players, especially those like unicorn big one like Klarna, like Stripe, we all hear, or maybe Chim, we all hear some kind of the informations or some obvious like PR news saying they're gonna go IPO. But after the government announcing those truffles on all those taxes rates, I think
Mhm.
everyone's kind of nervous and don't know what's the market gonna going on for the next like 12 to 18 months. So
Right.
everyone kind of holding and waiting to see what shall they do. But I still believe in we're gonna have some at least like one or two great IPOs in the fintech industries gonna be shining in the stock market. Cause fintech been actually in a kind of like a downtime for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
We know about the crypto, the things like the all those like lawsuits with the government, those Web3, like people are excited about it, and suddenly the whole system kind of crashed. And then now government starting re-regulated it and announcing some new regulations, all those things, and the people restarted to pick it up. And also our president, they're issuing his own kind of name, kind of mermaid coins, and everyone's kind of putting their eyes to starting get to accepting those new technology or the new way to kind of make payments or making the money movements in this financial systems. And I believe also the US financial systems is reaching some kind of certain points. The whole fundamental base structure need to have some change compared to what they built from like 30 years ago.
Right.
But we
Right.
see the parent company for Zelle, they launching the Pace. That's a really, I think, interesting product I'm seeing from last year.
Yeah.
And we can see all those like card network, like Visa, Master, their strategy kind of having a big change compared to what they do before. Before they only working with the processor. They don't really actually touch and go straight to the merchants directly or go to those small PSPs. But like for the recent 1 to 1.5 years, we're seeing they're starting getting more events or getting more occurrence to those small players.
Right.
And we're seeing the boundary line between banks and also card networks are getting more, how to say, like before the line is pretty obvious there. And you see like bank helping to settle, card
Yeah.
networks helping to kind of transform the information. But now, I mean, the whole system, you see everyone's kind of can doing the same function. But do we really need that much player to providing this one same function? I think that's gonna be the question. What if we don't need that much player? Then who's gonna be out? Who's gonna be stay?
Right.
And
So you
what's
see
gonna
some consolidation happening.
yes. So I see it's gonna be a lot of interesting gonna be happen. I think in the fintech fields for the
Yeah.
next like 12 to 18 months. And I believe like the stable coins. I think maybe something related to that is also gonna be having some new energy related to bringing into this industry. Maybe gonna
You're talking
be
about the crypto coins?
yeah,
Yeah.
shaping the whole industry in a little bit different ways.
Yeah.
And I believe payment is not gonna be just payment anymore. It's gonna be about the numbers, digital and information. So the function for the payment itself is also gonna be changed a little bit. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt about it. I think you're right. It's going to be very interesting to see how that all comes together and what they do with, right, if they regulate crypto in any way, shape, or form. I know they can't do all of it, but I know the US is talking about creating one. I don't know where that lands, but that obviously will influence the direction, right, and some of the payment options going forward.
Yes, yes. So I'm really excited about all those changes
Yeah.
gonna be happen in the next, I mean, few years.
Yeah, yeah, and really, it's going to change a lot of things, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about, really, where do you see Nihao like going over the next 2 years? Like, you kind of talked about some of the new products, how your some of the new customer base. But do you see like outside of like the e-commerce, do you see other regular businesses, shipping businesses, logistics doing the same thing and using NihaoPay to be able to do the cross-border payments?
Yes, yes. So I remember Stripe actually starting entering into business like almost like 12 years ago.
Yeah,
And that actually for a payment company that started a business in Silicon Valley, no one really cares about them.
right.
Because like all those VCs, like they are more focusing on those like innovation and they think
Yeah,
payment is boring.
right.
But after 12 years, now Stripe is, I mean, their valuation, everyone can see it.
Yeah, because they integrate with everybody.
Yes, yes. And no one can imagine about like after 12 years, like all the transactions shifting from offline to online. So I believe right now it's definitely gonna be the next exciting time to enter into this market because the whole base system is changing. And I believe there's a lot of opportunity between connecting Web 2 and Web 3. Besides the US dollar or the other currency we've been using for the past like 40, 50 years. And I think the next stage is going to be we will see a lot of like crypto, maybe crypto crossing countries. We all can using that same, I mean, coins.
Right.
And maybe some, I don't know, energy related coins
Mm-hmm.
gonna be replacing the gold's position in the world. I don't know.
That's gonna be crazy if that happens, right?
Yes, yes. So I believe those are all the
So do we
exciting
go to
things.
the energy standard then instead of the gold standard? Is that what
I
you
mean,
think?
yes. I mean, everything you produced, like, I mean, you live on the energy, you produced on the energy.
Yeah.
Before people using gold as a stable things, we kind of targeting to kind of making the whole financial system kind of balance.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, AI is heavily related on the
It's all
energy,
energy, right?
right?
AI is all energy.
It's energy. I mean, and think about all the other exciting new innovation. Nothing is not related to the energy.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's an interesting take, Rufai. I would never even have thought of that. And it actually makes a lot of perfect sense, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to building this fundamental for the next 20 years
Yeah.
that people can rely on, can using our system or ecosystem to actually adopting into this next like, I mean, the new generation of the world.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. Really cool. So what gets you excited the most? Is it this new change in the market? Is it the opportunity to kind of follow Stripe's path for this market? Or like what gets you most excited?
Definitely all those new opportunities is getting me excited. I have my own kind of slogan. I'm always saying more trials, more opportunities. But also besides that, I believe to seeing something I think is gonna be useful and providing value to all the human beings are actually building up by my team
Yeah.
is I think the most exciting things. I
Yeah.
think it's a I don't know how to describe it. Like I want using like a great achievement cause that's definitely not enough to covering the feeling when you're seeing like you are trying to building down this something exciting you think it's gonna be providing value to all the human beings in the next 20 years and it's been building up and you seeing the market trends are actually giving you the opportunity to actually using your tools, your products.
Yeah.
That's I think the most exciting part for me.
Yeah. No, that's great. All right. And then what keeps you up at night? What's the thing that keeps you worried?
Okay, what's the thing keeps me worried? That's a really great question too. Right now, I think finding more talented people to join the team, to letting them to also trusting and believe in my vision. I think probably somehow still a big problems for me, cause sometimes I'm thinking a lot of different things,
Yeah.
and
Well, if you as a CEO, you have to be thinking 6 months down the road, right? So that's hard, right? And then when you have to dial back, yeah.
yeah. So, and also like more realistic, I think the biggest challenge right now for us is like we are at that critical growth stage.
Mhm.
So big enough to feel all that pressure, but still lean enough that every decision matters. And what keeps me up like every night is making the right bets while keeping our tech and the culture strong.
Yeah.
Also, scaling trust. Payment is one of those industry where if something breaks, it's not just annoying, it's gonna be existential.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I get that. All right, one last question I always ask is tell me what's something that you do as a CEO with AI that makes you more productive in your role that you think
Okay.
other founders and CEOs might find useful.
Okay. So give yourself more break to think
Yeah.
or maybe even just to relax. Yeah. I think as a CEO, you need to work as hard as you can because the whole thing is following you and the investor is waiting. And I know all those pressure, but also I think relaxing and just sitting down there to just thinking something maybe not even relate to what you are trying to build is also important, helping you to actually organize and clear your mind. But a
Yeah.
lot of CEOs or founders forget about that because we are in that momentum to kind of keep running, doing, and we just forgot like we all human beings, and
Yeah.
sometimes that's making the process go faster and better.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you gave us some really big food for thought. Right? Energy coins, the changing the standard, that is a very bold but very kind of spot on take, and I think that I think there'll be people that are thinking about that, and then how do you take advantage of that? But Rufai, I mean, honestly, I think you guys are onto something. I think you have a really good vision, and I really hope to see that, and hopefully we get all the negotiations taken care of so we can get back to normalcy and we can figure out how these two markets play really well together. I just feel like that they're two massive markets, right, between the Asian market and the US market. And I feel like that they're already figuring out how to work together, but I think it's just scratching the surface.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for spending time with us today, and thank you for all sharing all of your insights. It's been really, really.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, hey, that wraps up this episode of Future Proof. And thanks to Rufei for all of her insights. And I think, as we always say on our podcast, future proof what matters in your business and automate the rest. Thanks, guys.
If you're ready to embrace change and lead with innovation, be sure to subscribe and never miss an episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Future Proof Podcast.